Namaskara and welcome. This is part 4 of the series of Bhadrakali Mahatmyam. This sacred tale of Devi Bhadrakali was previously available only in Malayalam text, but is now being shared in English text and audio through the devoted efforts of Guruji Chidakasha Bhairavanatha, the esteemed Peethadipati of Kanchana Peetham. Thanks to his vision, seekers everywhere can now listen to her story and read it for themselves, receiving her blessings and strength in their lives. If you'd like to read the full text, you'll find the link to the Kanchana Peetham website in the description below. So now, let's continue. In the previous video, we saw how the Devas, tormented by Daruka's cruelty, decided to turn to Brahmadev, seeking his intervention. Unable to bear the tortures of the wicked Daruka, Indra and the other Devas resolved to approach Brahmadev. With heavy hearts, they went to Brahmadev and poured out their sorrow. On seeing them, Brahmadev asked, "Why have you come here?" The Devas bowed and spoke, "O Lord, the terrible Daruka has displaced us from our realms. The Apsaras are enslaved, and we have been driven to caves in the mountains. All the three worlds are under his cruel rule. Heaven's wealth and treasures now lie in his city. We, once lords of heaven, wander on earth like mortals." Hearing their grief, Brahmadev replied gravely, "It is due to my boon that Daruka cannot be slain. A solution will be difficult. Come, let us seek Lord Mahavishnu. He alone may guide us." Thus, Brahmadev and the Devas journeyed to Vaikuntha. There, in the ocean of milk, they beheld Lord Mahavishnu reclining in eternal slumber on Sheshnag. Brahmadev told him of the plight of the Devas. Mahavishnu replied, "O Brahmadev, O Indra, listen well. Even I cannot kill Daruka, protected as he is by Brahmadev's boon. But there is one who can. Go to Kailash, to Lord Shiva, who never bears the sorrow of his devotees. He alone is capable of destroying Daruka." Mounting on Garuda, Mahavishnu himself led the Devas to Kailash. There, amidst the snow-capped mountains, Nandikeshwara ushered them into the divine gardens where Lord Shiva sat with Devi Parvati. The Devas fell in prostration, chanting and praying. Moved by their cries, Lord Shiva listened as Brahmadev and Mahavishnu recounted the tale of Daruka's tyranny. Then the Trimurti deliberated. Mahavishnu asked, "Tell me, O Brahmadev, what boon exactly did you grant Daruka?" Brahmadev replied, "He asked for immortality. I denied it. Instead, I decreed that he may only be killed by a woman." Mahavishnu responded, "Let us send women armed with divine weapons who will bring about his end." Lord Shiva agreed. "A great strategy, O Mahavishnu. Let us send 6 mothers or matrikas for the destruction of Daruka." And so, from Lord Shiva, 6 radiant goddesses were created. At this point, it is necessary to pause and reflect on a matter of great importance. This Purana speaks of 6 Matrikas, but nowhere is it clarified that these are the Brahmyadi Matrikas. Very often, when scriptures mention deities like the Matrikas, there arises a tendency to assume and interpret. Even if one insists on counting 6, which 6 of the 8 should they be? There is no clarity, and where there is no clarity, it is best not to assume. Guruji Chidakasha Bhairava, his Guru, and the entire parampara have always emphasized this: never assume, never speculate. One should only speak when there is clarity. Otherwise, silence is the higher discipline. In the Mantrika Sampradaya, however, there is a well-preserved tradition that names 9 specific Shaktis who assisted Bhadrakali in the slaying of Daruka. Malanayadi, Malamuttan, Malan Kurati, Malan Kuravan, Veerabhadran, Agni Bhairavan, Chandan, Mundan and Parachamundi. These 9 powers are honored and worshipped in that lineage. On the other hand, in the Samskrita Sampradaya, there is only mention of 6 nameless Matrikas. They are neither identified individually nor given distinct mantras and thus receive no exclusive worship. They remain only as passing references in the narratives. The important lesson here is this: spirituality is not about forcing interpretations or comparing which is right. It is about recognizing what is, as is, and faithfully carrying it forward. True learning is not the work of individual speculation, but the gift of the Guru. Because our limited intelligence cannot grasp the subtlety of these truths on its own, a Guru is indispensable. If one ignores the Master and relies only on one's weak intellect, spirituality will remain out of reach. And this is why Guruji's position is so unique. He is steeped in both the Mantrika Vidya and the Sanskrita Vidya. Because of this dual grounding, he can speak with authority on both traditions. Where one lineage names and worships 9 Shaktis, and another only hints at 6 unnamed Matrikas, Guruji can show the place of each without the need for assumption or distortion. And now we return to the story. Armed with tridents, swords, maces and astras, mounted on their vahanas, the Devis shone with fierce radiance. With a thunderous army behind them, they marched from Kailash. Their war cries shook the heavens, and the dust of their march eclipsed the sun. At Daruka's capital, the sound of drums and conches pierced the skies. Daruka, reclining in his palace, sent his messenger to learn the cause. Trembling, the messenger reported, "O king, 6 dazzling women, armed with countless weapons, stand ready for battle with a mighty army." Daruka laughed scornfully. Women? Sent by Indra, no doubt. Tell my commander Mahakapalan to bind them with ropes and make them slaves. Mahakapalan obeyed, thundering into battle with thousands of asuras. He mocked the goddesses. You beauties have come to fight? I will drag you by your hair before my master. You will serve as slaves in his palace. He loosed a shower of arrows, but the Matrikas countered fiercely. Vaishnavi's mace crushed horses, chariots, and men alike. At last, she struck down Mahakapalan himself. Seeing their commander fall, the Asura army fled in terror. The goddesses raised a lion's roar, and the war drums of victory echoed. Daruka, enraged, sent forth his brother Danava, armed with a terrible iron pestle. Sparks flew as he swung it, terrifying even the goddess army. But Maheshwari pierced him with her trident. Blood gushed like rivers, and the mighty Asura crashed to the ground like a mountain torn asunder. But when word reached Daruka that his brother was slain, his eyes burned, his pride trembled. He decided that he himself must enter the battlefield. This concludes the fourth video of Bhadragali Mahatmyam. If you found this video meaningful, do remember to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Also, remember to click on the bell icon to receive notifications of upcoming videos. This sacred translation is but one expression of the many endeavors of Kanchana Peetham. Under the guidance of Guruji, the Guru Krupa Tantrika Vidyalaya has been established, where sincere seekers are initiated into the living traditions of Mantra Vidya, Tantra Vidya, Yantra Shastra, and Devata Aradhana. Training is imparted both through online classes and through direct personal guidance. At present, specialized courses are being offered in Ganapati Puja, Skanda Upasana, and now also in the newly introduced Hanuman Mantra Vidya, empowering aspirants with the strength, devotion, and protection of Mahavira Hanuman. Alongside this, Kanchana Peetham extends its services through Parihara Pujas for astrological and Vastu related concerns, as well as sacred handmade yantras infused with spiritual power for upliftment in life, and consultations in the ancient science of Vastu Shastra. Furthermore, the Peetham offers the powerful Chathan Seva subscription, a living tradition of service and protection that brings blessings in multiple aspects of life and overall protection. Thus, every endeavor of Kanchana Peetham, whether through sacred teachings, courses, rituals, or protective sevas, is dedicated to guiding seekers towards strength, harmony, and spiritual fulfillment. Thank you for listening. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha.